Let me start by checking in on New York, where at the United Nations headquarters over the past few days we've seen a lot of the usual alarmism, hyperbole and emotionalism over global warming. The activists are so loath to stick to the facts and rational argument that they've even been feting and cheering a hysterical teenager, for crying out loud. Thankfully, our Prime Minister turned up to speak rationally, hit back at critics of Australia, especially those who consistently push the nonsense that our nation is doing nothing on climate.
Australia is responsible for just 1.3% of global emissions. Australia is doing our bit on climate change, and we reject any suggestion to the contrary. By 2020, Australia will have overachieved on our Kyoto commitments, reducing our greenhouse gas emissions by 367 million tonnes more than required to meet our 2020 Kyoto target.
So every now and then, even if it's just for 10 minutes in the last quarter, it's great if the facts get on for a run, isn't it? Now, speaking of climate, you'll remember we showed you earlier this year how Victoria Police are trialling electric cars. They rolled them out with the usual virtue signalling hoopla you get when we have climate and energy initiatives like this. And I joked at the time that it might be pretty handy for criminals in police pursuits because they could just wait for the cars that are chasing them, the electric cars that are chasing them, to lose power before the crims could take off scot-free. Well, it's happened. Not in Melbourne yet, as far as we know, but it has happened in San Francisco. Now, of course, they'd go for electric police cars there. Tesla, of course, is from the Bay Area. And there are reports today that one such Tesla police car had to abandon a chase very early on when the police driver realised his Tesla battery was low and they only had 6 miles in their money left. So the criminals took off, and by the time the old-fashioned fossil-fuelled cars joined the chase, it was all too dangerous and it was called off. It's not fair, is it? It's just not a fair contest. I mean, if the cops are going to have to drive around in electric cars, they should make the crims drive them too.